Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. So I just did a thing. I just ordered, custom ordered, a 2021 Ford F-150. So I see in the comments down below with these truck videos that trucks are so expensive these days, and they are. I think it's pretty insane, to be totally honest with you. But people say, how could you look at a truck that's that expensive? And the answer is, I'm in a position where I've worked 15 years in construction. I'm in a pretty good position in my career, and I have this YouTube channel that generates revenue. So between the two, it kind of puts me in a position where I work very hard to be in a position to be able to do something like this. But no, I'm not independently wealthy. No, I'm not going in and just dropping a bag of money on the desk or making it rain in the dealership. I don't have it like that. But with that being said, if you guys can share, like, subscribe to this channel, maybe buy a t-shirt, it would go a long way because this is going to be an expensive endeavor. I don't tend to promote merch and stuff like that, but this is certainly going to be expensive. But I'm looking forward to the content on this channel in the future. I'm not totally getting away from motorcycles at all. I still love my Harley. I'll still do plenty of moto vlogging. But with this channel being called Gears and Gadgets, I am all about automotive, motorcycles, and technology. I'm huge into tech. So this F-150 PowerBoost hybrid just seemed to fit a sweet spot with this channel, especially with the fact that the new Cybertruck is going to be coming out. It should start hitting people's hands late this year. The Rivian also should start coming out, I think, later this year. I think there's going to be some interesting content to make with this F-150. So it should fit within the channel, and I'm excited for that. So not only do I plan on making content around the comparisons between the Cybertruck and the Rivian and all that stuff with the hybrid, but I'm also a Costco member, and there's an interesting automotive program that I've really never seen anybody talk about, at least on YouTube, that I saw, that allows you to basically buy vehicles for about $500 over invoice, which is a huge benefit for a Costco membership. This is going to take about 8 to 12 weeks for this truck to come in. I understand Ford is pretty backlogged right now with custom orders, especially with the Bronco that just got released. It's also important for you guys to know, especially some of my motorcycle subscribers that have come over for the Harley Davidson stuff, that the best performing video views-wise on my channel, which is pushing 1 million views, should hit that probably this month, which is crazy, is my amp power step video that I did, I think, 3 years ago. So truck content does really well on this channel as well. So I started looking at trucks, and I was kind of wondering what I should do. And I saw the new Raptor that got announced, and I'm like, man, that Raptor is pretty sharp looking. The TRX, I was really crazy about when it first came out. But in all reality, I still work my job in construction. My truck goes out to job sites all the time, and some of these job sites can be an hour away, and I'm not into buying a TRX that gets like 8 miles to the gallon. To drive that around town all the time is just not in the cards for me. I needed more of a practical solution, and that's where the PowerBoost came in. So what I'm going to do in this video is take you guys right through the build of what I've ordered on this custom order sheet. I went to the dealership, I put $1,000 down, and the order is effectively in, from what I understand. So I'll make some videos on this custom order process. I didn't buy something off the lot because there's so many options now with these trucks that, to me, it just seems like you're kind of compromising several different ways if you buy something off the lot. I really want to buy something, especially spending this kind of money, that has every option I want, nothing I don't. So we'll jump right over to the build and price module on their website. I wanted to jump into this edit real quick because I noticed as I'm editing this together that you might wonder, why did I not have any video from the dealership when I was actually doing the custom ordering? I don't have a relationship with that dealership, and I didn't kind of want to go in there and play this whole like, hey, I'm a YouTuber, can I film this whole thing? I just kind of wanted to go in and place the order and do it. So that's what I did, and that's why all you see is the build sheet, and why I'm walking through this whole thing kind of after the fact, after I got home. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that. I have built and priced more vehicles than certainly than I have ever bought. I love doing this for fun. This was the first time that I actually built a vehicle on the actual configurator and printed out the entire configuration, highlighted every single option that I was a must for me, and brought this right to the dealership. And this is exactly how I ordered this truck. So let's go ahead right off the bat, looking at the models, looking at XL, XLT, Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, and the Limited. I ended up settling on the Lariat. There's really one main reason for that, but there are other contributing factors, but the big difference is the gauge cluster, and I'll just jump right to an interior shot. I can't be a gadget guy and not get this digital gauge cluster that comes with the trucks. When you make that jump, you're also getting more things with it. So now the really frustrating thing with this build process that kind of had me shook a little bit was colors. I wanted originally to go with Star White. I'm a really big fan of the kind of off-white color on all vehicles. I think it has kind of a classy look to it. Something that I like personally. However, the problem is you can't get the Sport Appearance Package with that Star White. They remove it from you, so you're really limited to colors. So I was kind of bummed about that. And then I found this Space White, which on the website, I didn't like it all that much. It looked too gray to me, and I passed it up until I saw it on a lot. And when I saw it on a lot, it actually is more in line with that Star White than it is a gray. So what was frustrating with that, when I found Space White, I was like, this is perfect. This is what I want. They are not putting the PowerBoost on Space White trucks. Apparently, the Space White paint color can only be produced in Kentucky, and the PowerBoosts are coming out of Michigan. So between the plants, they can't do that paint color out of Michigan. So you're stuck back to either Oxford White or some other colors that you can get with the PowerBoost and the Sport Appearance Package. So I was ultimately between this Oxford White, this black color, or Rapid Red. It's a really nice red. I didn't want a red truck. And then looking at black trucks, they look awesome, especially in this blacked out, totally black everything look. In person is a beautiful truck, but in Arizona, it's so dusty here. I mean, if the wind blows, it's just dust galore, and I don't want to kind of deal with trying to keep a black truck clean. So I decided to go back to just standard Oxford White, and I like the white and black look, so I'm happy with the Oxford White. That is what I ordered. Now, getting into packages, I went straight to the 502A. I did that mainly because when you start looking at things, you go up to the 501A mid, which is a nice package, but I don't like the headlights. So this comes down to just the slippery slope of ordering things. I went with the 502A. Whether you think it's worth it or not, leave it in the comments down below. I feel like once you're spending this kind of money, it is what it is. Now, I also went with the Ford Copilot 360 Active Prep. That is Ford's autopilot, basically. It's going to be a system that enables you to drive hands-free on most highways in the country. I'm really interested to kind of compare this to what Tesla has. It is not supposed to be a replacement or a competitor directly to what Tesla has, from what I understand. It's more geared around highway driving, but that's really the only place I want to do automated driving anyways, is maybe on really long road trips where it's just kind of nice to set it and forget it. So I'm interested to see how that is. So I wanted to test that out mainly on the channel. I think it'll be interesting for some content. So I went with that. Fx4 Package. A lot of trucks in Arizona don't have four-wheel drive. I went four-wheel drive because I come from Buffalo, New York, where snow is a thing, and there's just a part of me that's in my DNA. I can't not buy a four-wheel drive truck, and I drive enough off-road that, to me, it's worth it. So I went with the Fx4 off-road package. I also went with the Lariat Sport Appearance Package. Blacks everything out, gives you a little bit more of, I personally, I think it's a cleaner look. I don't like chrome. I've never been a big fan of chrome. So you get the painted bumper, the black grille, a nicer set of wheels that are a little more blacked out. I did not go with the Max Trailer Tow Package. Reason for that is because I don't tow a whole lot. And even if I were to buy a camper or anything like that, it would fall well underneath the range of what I need to tow. So the Max Trailer Tow Package actually gives you kind of some beefier springs in the rear end, but you also sacrifice some ride quality. So I just don't need the Max Trailer Tow Package. The truck in and of itself already tows 11,000 pounds, something like that, well within what I need. So not even worried about it. I did get the Tow Technology Package. Now, Powertrain. I went with the 3.5 PowerBoost full hybrid V6. Now, I watch Autovlog, and he just went with a 5.0 liter V8. He's going to supercharge it, go through all that stuff, and that's great. But to me, the motor gets 400 horsepower, 410 foot-pound of torque. The PowerBoost is 430 horse, so you're 30 more horse and 570 foot-pound of torque. In my opinion, you are getting the absolute best of both worlds. You're getting the twin-turbo V6, which is a monster. The reviews on that motor are great. Aside from sound, the actual power numbers are awesome. Plus, you're getting that hybrid, so you're getting that electric torque down low, and it's like, I don't know, I just don't see how you can beat the PowerBoost. Now, longevity is going to be an interesting thing to see. I'm not buying this truck like a lot of YouTubers where you see they buy a truck, they turn around, they sell it the next year because they're constantly playing that tax break game. I don't make that kind of money. I can't buy and sell trucks every year. It's not something I'm able to do. So I plan on this truck getting some miles, and I want to test this PowerBoost long term. I think it'll be interesting to see how this PowerBoost is at 50,000 miles. So that's kind of my intent with content, is to really test this thing long term. So you'll see this on the channel for quite a while. Now, the other benefits to the PowerBoost, as I had mentioned, I spend time on job sites. The truck sits idle. I would prefer to have that truck running on battery power without the motor running and not having those hours just logging on the gas motor for idle time. So we'll see how it does with that too. I'm interested to see how long this truck can run on electric power in between having to cycle the motor on and off. So we'll see how that goes. Getting into exterior, I stuck with these 18-inch 6-spoke machined aluminum wheels. I really kind of wanted to go with these 20-inch, and I almost pulled the trigger on it, but 20-inch wheels off-road, not great. If they had this same type of wheel in an 18-inch, I would have went that way. So I stuck with the 18-inch wheels because I just think it's going to be better off-road. Of course, I went with the 7.2 kilowatt-hour Pro Power on board for $750. This past winter, people in Texas were powering their entire homes, not entire homes, but significant portions of their house, the necessities off their F-150s. I love that. I had my air conditioning go out here in the middle of summer in Arizona. It was actually just getting into summer, so it wasn't super hot yet. But I'll tell you what, when your house starts creeping up towards 90 degrees and you don't have air conditioning, this Pro Power onboard would go a long way to be able to run even just an isolated air conditioning unit in one portion of the house while you're waiting for your main central air to get fixed. So seeing all of those benefits in Texas with that 7.2 kilowatt hour Pro Power on board, having that in your back pocket as a kind of a prepper type thing. I'm certainly not a prepper, but something like that I look at and say, I want that. So I went with that option as well. I did not get any bed liner from the factory. I did get the power tailgate. Again, slippery slope. Now you're just kind of spending money, but for where I'm at, it's like for an extra $700, I'll take it. Why not? So that was kind of the last, like, well, I'm already kind of down this rabbit hole, so it is what it is. I'll take it. Also not getting any tonneau covers, not getting any power steps. Going into interior, can't forget that. The interior has this brown. I love it. A lot of people I'm seeing on forums and things like that, I guess it's controversial. I like the black and brown. I think the separation of materials makes it look a little bit more premium. The interior work surface. This is one of the things that actually, oddly enough, for a $165 option, this is something that for me was a huge draw to afford. I think this is a brilliant innovation for the shifter to fold down. People say, oh, that could break and then you'll be stuck. Whatever. I'm really not worried about it. We'll see how that goes. I think that Ford should actually, since all of this stuff is electronic shifting anyways, in a potential over-the-air update down the road, include kind of an emergency shifting feature where you can actually shift through the touch screen in some sort of limited way that if that were to get stuck, you could at least get to a dealer or something like that, get home. But that's a video for the future. But the fact that this console folds flat and you have a whole flat work surface, that to me is brilliant, and it's basic, but brilliant. Good job, Ford. I also got the partitioned lockable fold flat storage because it's a great place to toss hard hats and safety vests and ratchet straps, things like that. So I did go that route as well. I did not get the twin panel moonroof. It's beautiful, but I personally have had a little scare with skin cancer. Not interested in having the sun baking down on me. And then on top of that, for my thought process is that a headliner is a little bit more of a thermal break than that thin fabric that kind of goes over and blocks the sunroof. So when it's 115 degrees outside, I would much rather have an actual headliner there that's kind of like a thermal break, as opposed to just a piece of glass that is letting all of that sunlight come straight in and only being blocked by that thin piece of fold-away fabric. So that's also something that I did not opt for. I did go with the Bang & Olufsen sound system because for, again, it's $700. You get 18 speakers. I heard one in person. I think it sounds incredible. So that is the summary of my build. This price that you see here, this estimated net price, that is not what I'm buying the truck for. I'm kind of waiting until everything comes in to probably share total out the door number. But invoice, the way that I'm looking at it, the invoice number that I see is about 62. So it's almost like $5,000 under what this says today. So that's about where I'm at with this truck. So guys, again, I'm super excited to get this thing. It's going to be 8 to 12 weeks, probably closer to 12 weeks before I see it. Your guys' support of this channel is really what makes this possible, because if it was just me and my full-time job without this additional revenue stream, which it's not a ton of money, but it's enough to make a dent and be in a position to be able to kind of alleviate some of that heavier car payment and be able to take some of that burden on from, I guess you'd say, the business side of things from my family. So this channel helps make that possible. You guys help make that possible. It's an enormously awesome thing that I'm in a position to be able to do this, but I'm also not going to sell myself short. I work incredibly hard to be able to do all of this. Again, my full-time job and putting time into this. It's not an accident that this stuff happens. It's all just based on hard work and time. And when you look at, well, how do you afford these trucks and how do you make those kinds of payments? Just work harder. And if it's something you really want, you can work for it and get there. So I'm really proud to be in a position now to be able to kind of squeak something like this out. And really, I'm just super stoked to drive this thing as a daily driver. I drive a lot. So it's something that I'm really looking forward to. A lot of you guys know that I haven't really loved my 2015 GMC Sierra for the entire 5 years that I've owned it. Not a lot of trucks that came out on the market that had me ready to spend a lot more money again until the F-150 came around. This is where I'm at. So I'm going to make a bunch more content around this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. So guys, with that being said, that is my 2021 Ford F-150 custom order. So thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. I'll see you guys next time.